Yo, yo, welcome in, Hoopers. Much love. Travis here with Hoops Movement,
Nick here with Nick Edson basketball.
and we're going to talk about our 10, each of our 5 most inspirational dunks that we saw growing up. We've both been obsessed with dunking and accomplished some of our dunk dreams, checked it off the bucket list, and we want to share some of that inspiration from you of things we saw growing up that made us want to try this. So, Nick, you want to start? Should I start?
I'll start. All right, so this one is Air Up There.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually a hoop mixtape edit, a TFB dunk session from uploaded in 2008. So we're going back like 8 years almost. And I love the track in this one, the background music. I loved it. And it's just a little dunk session, private dunk session that they had. It's maybe like five or so dunks. And this guy just glides so easily, and everything is just so smooth, and the music that goes along with it is just so smooth. And all of his dunks, he just kind of, using finesse, and it's like he's floating through the air. And a lot of them, there's a lot of like 360s and kind of contorting his body in different ways. And I saw this and I was like, I want to do that.
I know the session you're talking about. I had that.
You know what I'm talking about? You had that one?
Yeah, I mean, there's the one where he like throws the oop and he comes from out of bounds, like just 360 super power hang. It's just like, what did he just do? It looks so cool.
He's so smooth.
I need to do that. I copied his steps, so he's not on my list, but he should be.
Yeah, I've actually tried to do that dunk. It's really difficult.
Yeah,
it's like you throw it from the side and you catch it on a 360 and then you're dunking going away from the basket almost. It's tough, but
he spun in the air twice.
Yeah,
he's
crazy.
Insane. Okay, let me give you I like countdown. So my number 5, Fedor Ziani's cobra dunk, where he jumps off 1 foot and does the 360 super power windmill. Like he's like, what, 5'10", 140 pounds, doing the most powerful dunk ever, super finesse. I remember watching this in my buddy Nathan's bedroom in like 2004 on grainy 240p.
That's all he has. That's how old it was.
Yeah, the original one that has 10 million views or whatever. It's just like, wow, this is. I can maybe do this. Fedor really spawned the whole dunk as a sport really came from him. It seems like.
Yeah.
Slam Nation France. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like one of the original amateur dunkers that I know of. Some of his videos look like they're from like the late 80s.
Yeah, he's old. He's in his 40s now, and he still dunks on occasion.
He's a legend. All right, so my number 4, or my next one. This is actually one that I just saw, and you might know about this one. It's DJ Stevens. Have you heard of him? I believe.
Yeah,
I think
he's an NBA player, right?
I think he's in the NBA DL, but he went to the NBA draft combine, and I think he recorded the highest vert at like 46 inches or something. And he's
standing.
I don't know. One way or the other, I believe he has one of the highest verts in NBA combine history, and he's like 6'4" anyways, so maybe even taller. But this one, what you're watching right now, this is just a recent one of him, and he goes baseline and he catches the pass on a 2-foot plant, and he just goes straight up and just hammers it through. And he goes straight up, and he has such a high vert that he's so far above the rim. He does like one of these where he's like, lashes the other way.
Yeah, like one of these, like
because like he's gonna hit himself like on the rim, and I've just never seen one go straight up off a vert.
Clay Parker,
so he's going baseline, he just goes straight up like an elevator, and like it is a definition of elevation. And it's like honestly, like the rim is like here when he's at the top of his jump, and it's just like it's insane. Just like the whole play just worked out so you could see his vert like perfectly in motion, and it blew me away when I saw that one.
Cool.
So that's actually a recent one.
All right, here's my number 4. Tom Chambers over Mark Jackson. You might
Oh,
have
you're
seen
going
this.
old
Yeah,
school. I've seen that
it's
one.
so funny. Well, this was the earliest really boost dunk that happened in a game. So Tom
Yeah,
Chambers is coming down. He jumps from just inside the free throw line, and he was gonna dunk it anyways. But Mark Jackson gets underneath him, like his knee on his shoulder, and like jumps a little bit. And he's just
yeah,
so stupidly high. He dunks like this when he jumped from the free throw line. His head's
yeah.
still at the rim. It's just he was going to dunk like this, but he's dunking like this. It's just
He
that.
just like
I
he
mean,
just like puts it in.
yeah. There's been so many boost dunks since then, but that was really the first one where it's like he jumped off him like Mario jumps off a Goomba. It's just it's just it's just so funny. It's just the funniest
Yeah,
dunk, and also inspired. I like to boost dunk, and that was like, well, if you just jump right and the defender gets caught underneath you, you don't even have to be able to dunk to dunk. You can
yeah,
get accidentally boosted into a dunk. It's possible.
yeah. Still counts.
Yep.
All right. My third one is this LeBron James dunk against the Hawks. And the date from it is December 13th, 2008. They call it LeBron James thunderous dunk because when he does it, um, the commentator is like, LeBron James with a thunderous slam. Or he's like, the thunder of a LeBron James slam. And you can just, so what he does is he's coming down the lane and he beats his man and he cuffs the ball and he does like just a two-step gather, cuffing the ball. And then he just flushes it like this. And you can hear in the stadium, he's playing the Hawks, and you can hear in the stadium how it's just like a boring game. Everyone's just like quiet. And then he does this and just like everyone it like just goes nuts. And like he's like doing his thing where he's like staring at everybody with like that crazy face that he makes. And yeah. And like, oh my God, it's just like he just flipped that whole stadium like upside down with this fucking dunk. And it's just so powerful. You can hear the rim like, it literally sounds like lightning. And it's just so badass to me. One of my favorites.
Sweet, man. I love LeBron dunks. He didn't make my list, but oh well.
I
Okay,
got a
number
couple.
three. Number three, Jeremy Lin's Linsanity dunk where he crosses John Wall and no one steps up against the Wizards. It just
Yeah.
kept off Linsanity, which, as an
Yeah.
Asian person, obviously I'm super hyped. I was watching those games in an Asian fraternity at the University of Washington. I wasn't in the fraternity, but where else are you going to go to watch these games, right? So it was just, I remember jumping around like, what? Did that just
Yeah.
happen? Right. I mean, it was a nice dunk. No one was there at all. No one stepped up, but it was like, we made it, brothers. We're there. We did it. Right. I mean, he had a really
We
nice dunk
finally got
against.
him. Persecution.
Yeah, he had some really nice dunks in college. One against the UConn in particular, which
Yeah.
is also in close competition. But when he did it in the NBA, and he's got I think that was when he had the Band-Aid coming off his chin or whatever.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just so it's just so funny, or the blue tongue or whatever.
Yeah.
It got me pumped up.
He was unstoppable for that like month stretch or whatever.
Yeah, that was a strange time.
It was fun.
Inspiring, really.
Yeah. All right. So my number two is another LeBron one against the Mavericks from 2007. Um, and what he does, he catches the ball in the corner and he beats the guy, his first guy easily. And then he goes baseline and another guy steps up. So the guy steps up to the baseline. So he jumps, brings the ball to the middle, gets around the guy that jumped on the baseline, and then still stretches out and dunks it. And
Like a functional windmill.
yeah, sort of. No, it was more of like a functional like cockback. So it was almost like a sideways windmill. So he jumps, cocks it this way, and then brings it. Yeah, almost like a functional windmill. Actually, you're right. I didn't think of it that way. And like you think he's gonna tear the rim off because he's going so fast and his momentum is going so fast baseline, and it's almost like he looks like he's gonna rip the rim off. And I remember watching it live and just being like, how the fuck do you dunk that after like evading the one guy and then like your momentum's going this way and you flush it through. I was shocked by that one. And his dunks are just so powerful that it's just like, it's incredible to watch.
Reminds me of the Vince Carter where he like ducks under and then comes up for the windmill. Vince Carter doesn't make my list, but I mean, he easily could. Vince has got to be at least name dropped in this conversation.
Oh,
he was just too tall for me to really be like inspiring me to dunk necessarily.
His are so classic. It's kind of like you've seen him a million times.
But yeah, he's definitely on the list for me.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to my number 2. We were just talking about Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade, inspiration to me because, right, he had his meniscus removed, and he was not supposed to be in the league this long. But he has these dunks where he dunks the ball and then lands on his back and slides out of bounds. I've seen him do that 3 or 4 times, and it looks so cool, and it's so hard to do. It's like to dunk the ball so violently, but then be really careful on your landing as well, really set off a light in my head where it's like, wow, if you want to last a long time, you should. I just started copying it immediately once I saw what he was doing. Wade just is a huge inspiration for me for his ability to power through injuries, and working with Tim Grover is cool. I watched his workouts, but just when I saw those backslide dunks, it's like, I'm copying that. That's brilliant. I'm super smart. So smart. He's so smart.
Yeah. He had one where he spun, I think against the Thunder, when I think I was on Kendrick Perkins, and he spun to the middle and then somehow two-handed finished over him.
Yeah.
And then I think he did that thing, and it was like, how the fuck did you just do that? I was shocked when I saw that one too.
He's amazing.
He's incredible.
He's freaky.
Underrated dunker for sure.
Yes.
All right, so my number one is this Derrick Rose from 2011 against the Heat when he was in his prime. He had 3 nasty dunks in Eastern Conference Game 4. So the first one, they get a steal. He's on LeBron's trailing him, and Rose is flying because he knows LeBron's going for the chase down, and he just elevates and uses all of his athleticism and just a one-hand hammer with D Rose at his peak with all of his athleticism, and you can just see it. And LeBron has no chance, and it's just like, it just shows how athletic the kid was.
He was a freak.
So that's number 1. These 3 dunks in the same video. The second one, this is all in one game. Second one, the second one is actually a 1-on-2, blows by Mario Chalmers, and then Mario Chalmers tries to foul him. Rose blows by him. He gets an and one because Chalmers tried to grab him, and then he goes up for a tomahawk off of a 2-foot plant, and the bench goes crazy. And it's like, again, it's like, I have no idea how he dunked that. Doing a tomahawk off of a 1 versus 2 break. And then the third one is he catches it on the wing, splits a pick and roll, and then goes up, makes contact with Joel Anthony, I believe, who's this like beastly guy that the Heat used to have, makes contact with him, and then slams two hands over his head and one. And it was just so powerful and amazing that he got those 3 dunks. And no one thought that he would be able to give the Heat a run in that game, and he just showed that one dude can just like make it happen. And I loved him because he was so humble about it too. But those dunks,
he's a really humble guy.
Yeah.
He also had that 2-hander on Dragic, right? That's just outrageous. Yeah, that one is just.
And that's almost like a boost, but even without the boost, it would have been filthy anyway.
Yeah, that was a crazy dunk. Okay, here's my number. Oh, unless you have something to finish on that.
No, so that could be on our list too. But go ahead.
Okay, my number 1 most inspiring dunk, not on camera. I have to tell it as a story. Can show you Allen Iverson doing something similar in the NBA. But this is, if you follow any of my anything, you know how unique I am. And this guy, Justin Dentman, really inspired me. So Justin Dentman was NBA D-League MVP. He played for the Mavericks, gotten some minutes, and has a European League championship. So he's an amazing player. came from Seattle, and I would play pickup with and against him a couple times at the UW IMA. So I would play at the University of Washington Intramural Facility Center. Lots of professionals came through there. Nate Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, who else? Terrence Ross, Justin Dentman. So many guys. Seattle is just an amazing guard factory because of the AAU program Rotary and because it rains so much. And there's so much hardwood everywhere. It's just an awesome place to play. So I would go down and try to play with these pros. And I remember I'm going up against Justin Dentman, and he gets a steal. He's leading the break. I'm the last man trailing him, and he's free, but, someone's trailing him. And he does this dunk where he gives him it's such a complicated dunk. I've seen this the one time. I'm still trying to figure out. He gives himself the self-oop on the break. By the way, he's about 5'10", maybe 6 foot. Self-oop on the break. Goes up, gets it with two hands, I think, breaks off and gets in the net with the other hand, and then dunks it and finishes in a hang. Now, he cheated by boosting, but it's just a pickup game, No one says a word about it. People are in shock because it was so cool. No one had seen anything like that. He would do trick street ball stuff in the games, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like, I'm going to start doing that all the time. And that's how I really started dunking in games, was using the net. And I could already dunk at that point, but I'd never gotten any in games. But I'm just so thankful that I saw that, because if you see me and I'm some mediocre dunker tugging on the net, you don't necessarily think it's that cool. But if you get it from a pro, it's like, man, this is Justin Dentman's trick,
Yeah.
And it's also is really interesting because over the years I've had hundreds of amateurs call me out for doing that, and but the one pro overrides all the amateurs, so it's just such a weird. So it makes for a really weird dynamic as well, where there's all these people saying to not do that, and I'm like, well, y'all don't know about Justin Dentman, right? And then I've seen Brandon Jennings do that, and the clip we'll play for you is Allen Iverson. Didn't use it for a boost, but he finished it with a split hang coming baseline when he was a rookie in the NBA. And it was such a cool dunk, coming in, grabbing the net right in front of the camera and then dropping down like this. It's like, and these guys inspire me because they're 5'10", 6 foot, and doing these crazy dunks and tricks and different kinds of hangs and grabs and finishes. It really inspired me in my dunk journey to try stuff out. So, yeah, those are my top 5 inspirational dunks for me. And I think it would be cool if we asked y'all to share yours.
Yeah, for sure. We want to hear.
Yeah, post them. Post your top 1 or your top 5, or which of these you liked, or who we left out that should have been on here.
Or maybe it's one of ours.
It's a personal list. Everyone is going to have their own list. They're not the best dunks.
I remember when I was a kid, I just always knew. I knew I was going to be I would grow to be 6'2", 6'3", so I'm like, oh, someday I'll be able to dunk. And I was like, when I'm able to dunk, I'm just going to go in a gym. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to dunk for 3 hours straight. It's like boom, 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 boom. And finally I was able to do that, and it was everything that I wanted to be honest. It was great.
Yeah, man. It's been great. And yeah, we'll see how the journey continues for both of us. Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
Sir.
Great energy. Thank you. Fun. Yeah, really fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell us what you think below. Oh, if you're watching this from my channel, Hoops Movement, make sure to go follow Nick Edson Basketball. He does really cool things, really helpful.
Likewise, if you're watching this on my channel, Nick Edson Basketball, go follow Hoops Movement on YouTube. He's got some great stuff on there that you're going to love.
Yeah, thanks, man. And we'll see you guys in the comments. So thank you so much.
All right.
Peace out, Hoopers.
Peace.